2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. I just went so far from the mic. I hope you can still hear me. Today is Monday, April 4th, and I don't have Alpha with me today, but today I do have a PapaGenos.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And you sounded fine when you went back from the mic on my end anyway, so.
Perfect.
Hope I sound fine.
Yeah, PapaGenos, we haven't had you on the channel in forever.
Yeah, I did not realize how long it has been. Did you say it was 2020? Because
Yeah.
I thought it was 2021. I knew it had been a while, but I thought it had been.
I thought it was 2021 also, but on the on the Skype chat, it's the last conversation said July 25th, 2020. I was like, wow.
Unless
really?
we did something in 2021 that wasn't in Skype, but I don't know if we ever would. I don't know.
Definitely
Anyway.
spoken via text, but
Yeah, I mean, we never lost contact or anything like that for any lengthy amount of time. But yeah, okay, if it's been that long, my apologies. It's been a while.
No problem. Yeah, I'm looking at it. No, okay, sorry. July 5th, 2020. It's a whole extra 20 days.
We can add on 20 days. That's fine.
Yeah. I was curious if maybe that's just the last time I chatted, used the chat on Skype.
Oh, that's possible.
Since then. But I think usually it would say, yeah, because call ended. But anyway, enough about that.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Not too much lately here. I just did a room tour video, which I've been saying I was going to do probably since before whenever the last time I was on here was. So it's like several years, and I've probably been saying I'd do a room tour since like I first made my YouTube channel, because I always had cool stuff behind me. Like that was like a thing. I was like, I'm gonna make the room behind me look cool. I'm gonna film where I have my gaming stuff, and yeah, people have been asking like, hey, can I see all this stuff? Can I see all this stuff? And I was like, sure, I'll do that sometime. And I always held back from it because it's just like there's always stuff missing from my room. Like there's always like my brother borrows games, or I put something in the living room, or I go over my mom's house or something, or I don't have everything collected. So I just held off on it for a really, really, really long time. But I was finally like, all right, I need to get on doing this. So I did one. It's like almost 2 hours long, I think. It's at least over like hour and a half ish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a long one. It took forever, but it was fun going through all my stuff and everything. And I still didn't have like everything in the room, but I just kind of bit the bullet and accepted that I will never have taken all of my gaming stuff, put it in one room, closed the door, and filmed it. It's just not going to happen. So
it's like a fire hazard in there, though.
Oh, it is. Yeah, actually, I share the cords underneath my computer, and that alone is definitely a fire hazard.
No.
Whatever.
How many amiibo is that? You have them all?
I had all the Smash ones. I have 2 of all the Smash ones in box, actually. So the wall is too thick. If I take one down, there's one behind it. So
I'm missing some amiibo, so I'm a little jealous.
Oh no. Yeah, I think all the North American amiibo too. They're not on the wall. Is just the Smash ones, but then I have another place on a bookshelf that has like the rest of them. So yeah.
Hey, your volume just went up.
I sounded loud?
Yeah. Oh, went back down again.
Oh.
To like how it normally was before.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I said I plugged in the headphones. I don't know if this thing is going to like turn on to a speaker.
I don't
know.
Anyway, it's fine. It's just louder for a second.
Yeah.
So you said you have all the North American ones. Is that the actual amiibos themselves? Is there a difference, or is it just the box?
The boxes are different. As far as I'm aware, I think the amiibos are the same. Like the amiibos themselves, like the chips in them, I think are the same. Because I've definitely used Japanese ones open to do amiibo things and haven't seen a difference. If there is some sort of coding difference, I don't know it. The boxes are different though. Obviously, there's Japanese on them, but there's a few other things. I don't know how they package them now, but initially, the North American ones didn't have they put this thing underneath them so you can't scan them in the store. Like you couldn't just bring your Switch in the store, scan them, and put them back on the shelf. But initially they didn't have that. I don't know if the Japanese ones ever had that or if they had that from the start. I knew there was something different with that, I think, at first. But I have all this. I believe now it's the same. I think they all have the little thing underneath them that blocks it. But yeah, I have all the North American amiibos that have been released. But I do have like my Smash Ball. Like I said, it's double thick. Some of my doubles are Japanese ones, and I don't have a few of there were a few amiibos that were exclusively released in Japan, and I don't own those is really what I meant when I said I had all the North American ones. All the ones I could just go out in the store and buy here, I've gotten.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got most of them, and I think I'm only missing some of the DLC, the more recent
Okay.
ones. I
Like to
have,
the Smash Ultimate ones.
yeah.
Okay. That those are I mean I haven't looked at amiibo prices in a while. I think those are there might be a few of them that are pricey now. It's been a couple of years, but I think in general they're easier to get
Hmm.
because, or they'll probably get reprinted. The tough thing is some of the older ones that may have already gotten a reprint once or twice, and they might not reprint them again. So,
Are they all printed by now?
no, we need Min Min, Steven Alex,
So the whole
Sephiroth.
Fighter Pass too.
Yeah, so Fighter Pass 2 hasn't started yet. Yeah.
Are they going to? You think?
Yes. Well, okay. So they said that they would do. They showed Min Min and Steven Alex,
Hmm.
and then so we've actually seen the sculpts for those.
Oh,
Those are
that's right.
physically, yeah, those are physically been shown. But then Sephiroth, Pyro, Mithra, and Kazuya, they showed just drawings, not of like the amiibos, but just the renders of them from Smash. And Sakurai said, and more amiibos are on the way, but he didn't show Sora. So there's this big question of whether or not
Mm.
did Disney not want Nintendo to make a Disney character
Plus, just
licensed
wasn't out
product?
by then.
Yeah, or maybe they just are waiting to announce because I mean we don't have Min Min and Steven Alex in the stores yet, even though we've seen
Hmm.
the sculpt. So that's going to happen at some point. Then we're going to have to wait to see the sculpts for the other ones. Then those are going to have
Hmm.
to come out. So even if there was a Sora amiibo happening, it might not be till like mid 2023 or end of 2023 something. So
Mm.
maybe they just don't want to even say it because then in E3 2023, Sakurai can come out and be like, and the Sora amiibo is happening in 3 months or something. And people be like, hey, hype.
Unless
Because if they
they
said it back when Sora
announce
came
it,
out,
unless they announce
people
it
might.
during E3 or something.
Yeah, they could announce it during E3. But if Sakurai had said it back when Sora, was announced and everything, then there's a strong possibility like people would forget about it. Like it might be more hype to do it later. Or it's
Yeah.
possible Disney didn't play ball. I'm not sure.
I'm looking at my notes because I know I have a checklist. Because I've only been getting the Smash ones plus anything else that tickles my fancy. But I, I know I have most of them, and I can't find this checklist. And I was hoping that it was as easy as opening up my phone and it was right there.
I had to
But
do a checklist for my Nintendo Power collection. So I did a
uh,
checklist for that, and I'm missing 23 out of 285, but 23 issues. I figured
oh,
out which ones those were.
are you gonna get them?
I'm going to be on the lookout for them. I might check online, see what the prices are. I like hunting. Like I like going to retro gaming stores and stuff and penning through. Sometimes, I mean, usually, like if I buy them online, they're usually kind of expensive because people know what they're selling and eBay and stuff. Like somebody's gonna have to send it
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. But if I go to a retro gaming store, sometimes they have like, oh yeah, someone traded in a bunch of strategy guides and Nintendo Powers, and they're in this bin, and they're
Mm.
like $1 a thing, and like that's where you can get like a ton of them. That's where I've gotten a lot of the missing ones I've had in the past. But now I'm looking for 23 specific ones to complete it. So maybe it's time to bite the bullet and just order them for whatever
Okay, so
people
I
are
think the
wanting.
ones I'm missing, uh, assuming this is the most up to date one that I found, I'm missing Inkling, Ice Climbers, Ken, Daisy, Young Link, Richter, Hero, Joker, and that was the last one that's on this checklist. So, and I know there's been more since then.
Okay, I think
And
Joker's expensive actually. I
oh
think a friend of
god.
mine told me Joker's expensive. I don't know about the other ones.
And then after that, I know I got Byleth,
Okay.
so I think that's the only DLC I got.
Okay.
Hmm, that's disappointing. I feel like if I don't get them all, then I failed because when you get one, you kind of commit to getting them all.
That's how I felt when I remember when Amiibo first came out and the Smash ones came out, and it was like I was at GameStop and they had all of them, and I bought one of all of them, and I remember doing it, and it was a good amount of money that I dropped. I don't remember what it was, hundred probably something dollars. I bought one of all of them, and in my head I was like, you do realize that doing this right now means that
You're
instead of just buying
committed.
the ones, yeah, I'm committed. Instead of just buying the ones that you like, the next time another wave comes out, you're buying it, and you're doing that for going forward.
Wait a second. I remember buying Inkling, so that's got to be out of date. And I found
Do you
another
have
one where I found another checklist where I have ice climbers,
Okay, that's good.
and I know I got Inkling. So
Smash
I don't.
Inkling, not just like because there's a
Yeah.
couple. Yeah, okay.
So this is a checklist that I don't know if you could see it.
Oh, is it the app? I think I had that app.
I don't know if it's an app. I remember it was a website, and the
Okay.
website was not saving my information next time visit. It was like it must
Oh,
have just saved the first time,
just
so it wouldn't
screenshot
update.
it or something.
So I just screenshotted it and would like circle when I got it, but I don't see the update
Hmm.
with the circles in it. Um, and just like I would have to, I would have to, I would hate to have to go back and count them all because they're all in a bag.
Oh no, that's nothing.
So, but anyway, while we're talking about Smash, what are your thoughts on the end of Smash? Since last time we spoke about it was during one of the fighters passes.
Yeah, it was during DLC. Yeah, I mean, I'm like retrospective looking back on it. I'm pretty happy with what we got for DLC and Smash Ultimate in general. I've always
Mm.
said that I remember Smash 4 ending with Bayonetta and Corrin, and in my mind I was like, "Oh, bummer! I really wish that Sakurai had done like I don't know, like four more characters or so. If we gotten like Wolf and Ice Climber back, if that was possible on the 3DS, and then like another big ballot winner like K. Rool or Ridley, that would have been enough. That would have been like the perfect Smash game, and we were almost there. And then Smash Ultimate came out, and right from the start, we get everyone's back. Plus Ridley and Daisy, and Inkling, and it was like, okay, well, this was the Smash 4 I wanted. So everything else has just been icing on the cake.
Mm.
And then to get, two fighter passes full of characters, our expectations, went through the roof, obviously, guessing all these characters, stuff like that. But I'm pretty happy with what we got as DLC, especially knowing Sakurai has said Sora was the number one voted for ballot character. Banjo Kazooie was number two. We got both of those. We got like Minecraft and Smash. Namco got another rep with Tekken with Kazuya. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I would like to see still in Smash, but can I really ask for more? No, I think it was solid overall. And as far as how it ended, I wanted Sora. I like Sora. I like Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that. Not my number one character, but a character I completely agree should be in Smash and has a ton of fans. Wanted to see Sora and wanted to see Kingdom Hearts enter Smash and do the Kingdom Hearts is a big crossover game. Have that crossover with Smash is this ultimate crossover moment. So to end on Sora, especially being the ballot winner, yeah, I have to admit that you can't do better than giving us the ballot winner at the end. So it was a good ending.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel bad saying it, but I wish there was a little more.
I mean, I want Gino. There's a bunch of characters I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted a first-person shooter rep really badly because I thought that would round out things really well. So yeah, I mean, I want more too. I hope we get more someday. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe basically showed that DLC can happen way down the road.
That's true.
So we'll see.
But I feel like they would want to capitalize on a new Smash game when they really don't have to.
They might want to sell us, another Smash game, but I would prefer DLC. If Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is showing that buying DLC after the fact is, years after the game came out is a viable.
Probably selling games too.
Yeah.
Because it was on the Wii U, and so there are probably people who are like, I don't need to play it again, like myself included.
Yeah, and now it's new.
Not that I don't want to play it again, but I was just like, I already played it, and so now that there's new content for the Switch version, I'm more so inclined to get it eventually, at least. So there's definitely people that got this
because of
after the DLC. Yeah, because of the DLC.
Agreed. I mean, you could do something similar with Smash Ultimate. You could do Smash Ultimate Deluxe, and you could do that on some sort of, this is all hypothetical, but some sort of Switch Pro or something. You could have all the DLC included, and then do a fighter pass for that game. And if you have the whole game,
how does that,
do that.
How does that work with rights? Is it considered printing the same game again, or would these companies be like, oh, that's a new game, you need to get the rights again?
I have absolutely no idea.
That's the concern.
Yeah, I would hope that something. I remember in between Smash Wii U and Smash 3DS, when Smash Ultimate was coming out, and we didn't know a title for it. One of the big arguments was maybe they didn't give a title to Smash Wii U and Smash 3DS. They just called it Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, Super Smash Brothers for 3DS, so that the Switch one could be called Super Smash Brothers for Switch, and that going forward, Nintendo would say, you have a contract to put this character in Super Smash Brothers. The game we're releasing is Super Smash Brothers. The character is in there. You will get royalties. The contract holds up, whatever.
But there's probably more to it, like
I'm sure there is
specific dates and stuff, because anybody could get away with something like that if it's that loose. You're hereby legally required to give me possession of your character for everything now because I'm just going to keep renaming it.
Yeah, no, I am sure there is. I'm curious though if perhaps Smash Ultimate, they may have had that in mind a bit and been like, okay, we're going to, like, the contract might say, and future Smash endeavors, and or we are able to reopen this for future Smash endeavors, something like that. I don't know legal stuff super well or anything, but I could see them future prepping the possibility of trying to get characters back. And that's the thing with ending on Sora too, is that's probably the character I would imagine has the most legal strings attached to it. So if we're going to go forward from this, it would be nice to get a character like that back, if not everybody back. I know Sakurai said it might not be possible and blah blah blah, but I would rather than strip everything down and start from scratch. I'd rather another Fighter Pass get announced or a deluxe get announced with more whatever, that sort of thing.
I have this thing still. I made this. I don't know. People were doing their Dream Fighters passes.
Oh,
this
nice.
was like my dream third pass if it ever came. What?
Sora's on there. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I just realized there's a reflection of you in my phone.
I can see some of them. I see Shantae. I see Sora.
Yeah,
with Rayman.
Shantae, Gino. Because I don't know much about Gino, but I just think he's a cool character. Right? He's
he is a cool character
guy. I was under the impression if he got in, I would probably play Super Mario RPG. It's a game I want to eventually play, but just like how Dragon Quest was a series I wanted to eventually play, and when Hero got in, I was like, all right, time to play it. So I felt like
you played like a bunch of the Dragon Quest, right? If I recall.
What was that?
You played like a bunch of the Dragon Quests after Hero got in. Yeah, wow. I remember you were like marathoning them, and I was like impressed.
I have 11, haven't played it yet. Skip 10 because I don't have a choice because it's not in English. And then they had that Dragon Quest presentation maybe a year ago or something. And in the presentation they announced an offline version of 10. I was like, yes, finally. But
Japan
one,
only?
they didn't announce it for the US. It was still Japan only. And two, the offline version was almost like a completely new game. They all the characters went from the detailed models they were in to now chibi versions. And I don't know if they did that because they figured, we want people in Japan to buy this game again, so it's like a new experience. Meanwhile, I'm like, that should not be the target audience. The target audience should be everyone.
You could sit down, learn some Japanese, play 10, and then go on to 11. I remember that Dragon Quest announcement or presentation or whatever it was. I remember that happening. I think it was shortly before E3 last year. That sounds right. Or E3 time schedule. I think it was.
And they announced the Dragon Quest 3 with 3D HD or something like that.
Yeah. You could switch between or something, right?
And they kind of hinted because they would blow a whistle every time they didn't want. I think his name is Yuji Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest. They would blow a whistle anytime he was about to say something they didn't want him to say, and I think somebody asked him because it was sort of like an interview. They asked him, I guess, about the other games, and he started to say that now I don't think he was gonna say that they were gonna make 1 and 2, but he was saying that or the way he was saying it kind of made it sound like, that's something we might consider, because it's just the natural progression of it. I forgot the exact words, but the way he was saying it made me think like he wasn't actually, it was a natural response to say that and not actually hint at making it. But they whistled, which means, so they are going to make it.
Gosh, yeah.
The people whistling gave it up.
Right. Yeah, actually stopping him from just saying what he said.
Right.
made it more suspect that, hey, wait a minute, why don't you want him to say that
Yeah,
instead of,
yeah,
hey, let him
exactly.
say it because it's it's just a maybe.
That's why I don't understand the marketing sometimes, unless that was on purpose to get people hyped.
Yeah, that
Sometimes I
was
wonder if there's a reverse psychology marketing going on.
one of the things that Nintendo is pretty good with, actually, is that Smash leaks happen and Nintendo doesn't do a thing about it.
Hmm.
Except for, I think, what was it, Smash Wii U 3DS like leaked, and it was like tons and tons of footage, and that was just like, the game had actually
Mm.
like legitimately like gotten into someone's hand and leaked. They put a stop to that. But usually when it's like this character is supposedly this or that, for Smash stuff, Nintendo just radio silence, and it just makes all those leaks meld
Mm.
together. But I've been following, like, was it Nickelodeon All Star Brawl and Multiverses, the new like Warner Brothers
Oh,
game,
I gotta ask you
and
about that.
yeah, and so I've been following both of those, but then like data mines happen or leaks happen and stuff like that, and both of those have had the companies like tear the stuff down and suppress stuff, and it's like as soon as you do that, it's like way more like, okay, it's confirmed. Like,
Yeah,
I think the better idea is just muddy up the water, throw in some more stuff, and
I
just make it
think
all
some of
confusing.
that comes out as fear, where
Yeah,
like if you're the person who's supposed to blow the whistle, you may think it's fine that they said that, but in your head, you're probably afraid that your boss is going to yell at you for
yeah,
not whistling. So you're like, oh, I got to do it because I don't want to get in trouble for not doing it. You know,
yeah.
and I think that
Oh,
like
definitely.
makes it worse, but hey, we kind of got a somewhat confirmation thanks to the whistlers that we're gonna get a 1 and 2.
Yeah, probably.
But I think the general thinking was, can we see Chrono Trigger remade like this,
That would be
which would
sweet.
be amazing. And now we've got the Chrono Cross remaster coming out.
Yes. Is it? It's like, I want to say it's this week. Am
Is it?
I I'm
I
looking it up
ordered it
right
from
now.
Play Asia because I gotta have a physical copy, man. Like, what is this digital only that Square Enix loves to do?
I saw the Switch like box for it. My friend actually ordered it and sent he like texted me a picture of it, and I was like the same thing. I was like, man, I got to get that. Like, I love Chrono Cross. Let's see, when does this actually come out?
Unfortunately, there's no actual box. It's just the regular case. But I was hoping there'd be some kind of special edition box or something. My
I looked
issue
up.
that I said last episode was, the games from Japan that you order that are in English, or
Mhm.
have the English text. The spine on the box always has Japanese text. So if I line them up on a shelf, I'm gonna be like, I
Oh
don't know what
no,
this game is. I mean,
yeah.
I'll know because I've only got 1 or 2 Japanese games, but
Hmm.
like,
But if you had a lot,
yeah, if I
yeah.
started doing that because the West seems to hate physical copies.
It's funny because it makes sense to, like, if you're in Japan, like a lot of times they do for aesthetic purposes, they'll do it in what's it? I don't know what our letters are called. There's a name and it's escaping me. Anyway, they do it in like English,
Oh,
on the cover or
I
whatever.
don't know if it's right, but I always heard Romanji.
Yeah, is it Romanji? Because like
Yeah,
Roman letter. I don't know.
yeah.
That sounds right. Anyway, they do it like that because they aesthetically, a lot of Japan likes the look of that for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if you go to Japan, a lot of the stores
Hmm.
have that, as the titles and stuff like that. But then the actual important text is in Japanese, or katakana or kanji,
Hmm.
whatever. So I imagine the reason they're putting that, the Japanese on the spine is because when a Japanese person has it all lined up in their collection, it's easier to read that way than to
Yeah,
go, okay, it's just written in text, and I don't remember what that. They probably recognize like the Zelda
I think it's
logo by the
Romanji
font
and
and everything.
kanji. I
Is
think.
Romanji and kanji?
I
Yeah,
think
that,
so.
that might be right. And katakana, I think, is specific symbol. I don't know Japanese, so I think
I'm
that's like specific
guessing that
symbols.
the G must mean some kind of letter or symbol, and that the kan might be from katakana. I don't know. That's just me
Yeah,
guessing, but that probably completely off.
yeah, something like that. I have friends who do read Japanese and stuff like that, and they would hate me for not knowing because I've been to Japan twice, and I at some point in my life definitely knew all of this, but
Yeah.
in the moment, spur of the moment, I don't remember specifics.
Yeah, but yeah, the first game I got was Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3
Nice.
trilogy because the only physical versions that, because those were the, I think those were the versions that were released on mobile that they put
Hmm.
on the Switch, and I
Okay,
guess other systems, I don't know, but they put on the Switch, and in the
you said
West
they
I
were
think they
good.
just,
if
What?
I recall. I think you said the mobile versions were really good
I
or
thought they
something.
were good
Yeah.
for those three specifically because those were the ones I played.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Those ones were good. I didn't play four and up, and I've heard mixed things about some of them. Like, I think the one that was, which was the one that was on the PS2? Was that eight? I think it was eight.
Yes. Yeah. Eight was
Um,
on. That was over here with the guy with the bandana. That's
I
eight.
heard that one was terrible on mobile,
Ooh.
or like it wasn't as good as the first
Hmm.
one. I don't know about terrible, but it wasn't as good as the um
Original.
other version. I
Yeah.
got the one on 3DS, which I also heard wasn't as good in terms of power, but they added new content. They added two new characters. I'm like, I'm gonna play
Oh.
the 3DS one. Plus all the
Yeah.
other
I mean, more
versions of the
content.
plus all the other
It's like
versions of the games I have were DS and 3DS, so the cases lined up.
there you go. Yeah, like Chrono Trigger has more content, I think, on
Yeah,
the DS version. Yeah, so that would be the one I'd suggest to people.
yeah,
Even though Super NES is obviously classic, I would suggest doing another one because more content. And it has, I think, the cutscenes they added for the PlayStation re-release, I think, are also on the DS one. So I
yeah.
think the DS one is the
I think the DS one is the
definitive.
version to play.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They also redid the text. I just specifically remember certain items being named differently. I think the
Oh,
rainbow. Uh, I know you get one or two of a certain material per playthrough,
mhm.
and you use that to make. I think there was an armor, like a vest or chainmail or whatever, a helmet and a weapon version.
Yeah,
So
I
like
kind of
if you
remember what you're
want to
talking about.
get all three for every character, you got to play the game multiple times.
Hmm.
Back when I had the time to play multiple times, I got a chunk. Not for everyone, but I think I had at least three for I had enough for three characters.
Hmm.
So and I specifically remember the name
So
being
full team.
different. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
specifically remember the name being different. I think it was like Prism, whatever, Prism dress or whatever. And I think
yeah.
in the other copy or the previous versions, it was Rainbow or something like that. It was off. So I assuming that they redid the text for that game. So
I do know Super Nintendo Chrono Trigger because the names had to be like cut down a little bit. So there was something with the text that they had
mhm,
to change for the English. Like, because I think Chrono's name is supposed to be Chrono,
mhm.
but in the actual game it's Crono because they had to make it so long for
Hmm.
whatever reason or something. Yeah,
I wonder how it is in the PlayStation and the
DS one.
DS versions
I
because I
think
don't
they
remember.
I think they kept it Crono, but I don't. I'm not a Chrono Trigger expert, so I don't remember for sure. But I think it's that. But I think in the Japanese version, the character names are just whatever they're written in Japanese, and I think they just couldn't fit the
Hmm.
Romanji characters or whatever our characters, so they got rid of the H, so it's
Right.
phonetically the same, but not no, there's no H in his name.
Hmm. And then the main character in Cross is oddly enough
Surge.
not named Cross.
No, it's Surge.
Well, I guess technically Chrono's name is not Trigger, so it wouldn't make sense for Surge's name to be Cross. But
True.
I
They could have
liked
called it
Chrono
Surge
Cross.
Cross, but everybody would have been confused.
Yeah.
Maybe that
Um.
would have been a good thing though, because I think a lot of the slack that Chrono Cross gets is because it is associated with Chrono Trigger, and so many
mm.
people are like,
The,
"That's not
the
a sequel to Chrono Trigger."
the thing with Chrono Cross is it starts off seeming so detached from Trigger that it's not till like I want to say halfway in where it actually feels like a sequel to Trigger.
Yeah,
And I think that's probably the slack it gets because it
yeah.
feels so disconnected.
It's very detached, and I mean, you're doing like Sunshine Beach Adventures, like where it starts, and it's just very like I don't remember anything like that from Chrono
Yeah.
Trigger. Like it just
But
does
then
not pull you back.
once the Chrono Trigger relationship kicks in, it kicks in, and it's like, wow, this is a sequel to Trigger.
Yeah, it has a cool uh multiple like the whole frozen flame thing. Like there's lots of cool stuff. I won't give it away because the game's coming
Yeah,
out.
and even
I
the
look
DS version introduced or added story elements that connects it to Cross.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I remember one of the endings with Luca, I think, had a big connection to Kid or something like that. If I'm recalling correctly.
well, I wanna say it, but I know that since the new version's coming out, I don't want to spoil it because it is an old game,
Yeah.
but it's could probably be new to people, so I don't want
I,
to
yeah, I
say
feel
what
like
the connections are.
I feel like a lot of people. Like, I looked it up actually. I looked up I looked up Chrono Cross release date, and I got November 18th, 1999, and I was like, no, I mean the new one, and it's April 7th, so it's
Oh,
in three
okay.
days.
All
So it
right.
is literally
I won't get my copy for a while because it's coming from Play
oh,
Asia.
yeah.
I
I
don't have
have
time to play it right now anyway, so.
Well, there you go. I have to get a physical copy of. They re-released Zombies Ate My Neighbors for
Mhm.
Switch. I actually heard it wasn't even that good, the re-release or the remake or whatever. But I bought the. I love that game so much. It's one of my favorite Super NES games. I bought from Limited Run Games. I bought like the physical,
Mhm.
and I bought that like well over a year ago. And I think it's just been pushed back. And Limited Run Games takes a long time to get your physical copy.
But
So
when you get it, it's so nice.
it's awesome. Yeah, it's so great
I
to have.
just got
Um,
the Wily Wars, Mega Man the Wily
oh, nice,
Wars. It's such like a gorgeous case that it came in.
nice.
As I mentioned last time, it came broken, so I had to uh, they sent me a new one and I sent the other one
Exchanged
back.
it.
So yeah,
Okay. Well, as long
so
as
it
they
worked out
took care of that.
fine. Again, no hate, no hate towards Limited Run or anything. In fact, super awesome that they even were able to send it back
Oh,
so fast too.
if they even exist, it makes me
Exactly.
happy. Like I've gotten so many games that otherwise would not have gotten a physical release. So many cool game
Hmm.
bonuses and stuff like that come from that. And yeah, I mean, Zombies Ate My Neighbors getting on Switch was cool. Being able to get it physical with some goodies that come along with it.
Hmm.
I'd wait another year, no problem. Like it really doesn't matter to me. It was about just getting that, not playing the game. Playing the game when I want to play the game, I'll download it. I already have it for Super NES or whatever.
I mean, I was just complaining about how we're not getting Chrono Cross physical, and now we have a company
But
that's dedicated to physical,
right,
and I think
yeah,
their logo or slogan is "Physical Forever."
yeah.
I actually made it. I don't know if the word is facetious or not, but I made a facetious tweet towards like Square,
Oh,
being like, "I didn't know you guys were in such dire like financial
they couldn't do physical Chrono
whatever that you
Cross.
couldn't print a physical."
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. I'm like joking, but also like, come
kind
on,
of true.
guys,
Yeah,
no hate towards them, but just like, come on, really?
yeah. No, I mean, as someone who like, I mean, see my room behind me, and I like I said, I just did a room tour. I like physical stuff. I like physical
Me too.
gaming. I collect it. So yeah, I don't ever want to see that go away. So anybody uh, helping to keep physical gaming alive, it's cool with me.
Like, if you can't print the cart, at least print a box with a code inside, because I want to
Yes,
display the game
exactly.
in some way, shape, or form. In fact, recently, in preparation for Bayonetta 3 coming out, and the fact that I would love to play them again anyway, I mean, that was the purpose of me getting it. But I got Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch, and if anybody knows, Bayonetta 1 did not come physically. But Bayonetta 2, which I super appreciate this, they printed it with a reversible cover of the first game.
Yeah.
And it included a DLC for the first game. So I bought an extra box of the
Oh,
second
there you
game and
go.
just flipped the sleeve around. So I'm like, oh, I have both games. I mean, and I have the first one downloaded on my Switch, so I'm ready to play it when I'm ready.
Mhm.
But now, in terms of displaying, I have them. So
Nice. Yeah, I have Cuphead. I had to get digital, but I bought even when I get stuff digital, I prefer if I can get a card, at least the card
mm.
from like a Target or a Walmart or whatever. I
Oh
get
yeah, yeah.
that just so and then I have that just with my game collection stuff, just to have. Yes, I did buy this. Like I don't know.
That makes a perfect transition because I just did that with so Horizon Forbidden West,
Mhm.
the DLC codes that come with the Regala Special Edition, which is the super big one with the statue. Um, I got the codes from eBay,
Okay.
um, and so I asked the guy, I'm like, "Can you send me the piece of paper?" So just paid like six
Still gonna
dollars so
have
I
it.
could put it in an envelope. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a collector. I want to have it in my box so that when I open them, I'm like, oh, I have these codes."
Nice.
So,
I got
um,
the day one for Forbidden West or whatever
yeah,
that
I got the regular special edition.
yeah, that got so there was a code for some
Yeah, the
costume.
Nora Legacy
That was it.
outfit and Nora Legacy spear,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then the one that I just got today, and I got the code for it, but I haven't gotten onto my PlayStation yet. I don't even know if I'm gonna use it. I just want to have it. It's first world problems.
A friend of
um,
mine did order the like the collectors, the big edition of the game.
Hmm. The problem is there's two different versions of it.
Yeah, I actually don't know which one she got. I remember her being unsure about which one to order. But actually, what happened was the day Forbidden West came out, both of us went to Walmart. I bought the day one whatever edition for myself, but I was going on vacation the next week to Florida for a
Mm.
week. So I actually gave it to her and was like, okay, because hers she had ordered in the mail, the collector's one, and it like wasn't going to come out the day of. So I gave her my copy. I went on vacation the next day. She started playing my copy, and then when I got back from vacation, her collector's edition had come in the mail. Switched to that. I picked up my copy from her, and I started a week late. So
Mm.
that was my Forbidden West story.
So she finished the game.
No, I haven't beaten it either. I got I'm not super far in it. I think I'm like maybe like level 30 or something like that. I'm not like too far. Like I said, I
Mm.
started a week late, and I've only played here and there. It's one of those games that like I like it, but like if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it for like 6 to 8 hours. So
Mm.
like there's lots of times where it's like I'm not gonna play it right now. I'm not gonna play it right now. And then it's like
Yeah.
all right, I have time. Put it in.
So that's,
Give
my
another.
problem is I only have like a couple or few hours a day to play it. So I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, I gotta play it now.
yeah, it's a little.
But then the problem is it takes away from like the other projects I'm working on, like whether it's my comic or what I mentioned to you before. I have the Sonic timeline video that I'm doing that I'm breaking into 5 episodes, and I did the first episode, and the second one I started, and I just haven't gotten a chance to continue it, and I'm like, I gotta do this because it was a lot of fun to work on that timeline and discuss with other people. And I'm like, I want to get these thoughts out there. We came up with some cool theories.
Mhm.
We uncovered some crazy information that nobody's talking about. There was a magazine in Japan from the 90s, like a Sega magazine, that mentioned one piece of data that I actually had confirmed by a native Japanese speaker who said, yeah, this is what it says. And it's like it places a game in a timeline and goes hand in hand with some news that Sega just said about like where a game took place. I'm like, this is
Interesting.
perfect.
Oh
And it's
man,
like I want to get that out there.
I gotta watch these videos now, definitely. Yeah, we were talking about Sonic 2, the movie Sonic 2
Oh
comes
yeah.
out this week. So I'm excited to see that. I love the first Sonic movie, and this one, it's funny the negative things I've heard about this movie from reviews that have had like a more negative take have been it focuses too much on Sonic and not enough on the humans, and I'm like, yes, the movie's gonna be
Good.
awesome.
Who cares?
Yeah, I'm like,
If
perfect.
it was the other way around, I feel like those people, it's their job to make something sound not perfect.
Yeah,
So if it was the other way around, they would complain about that.
it's too much about the humans, and it's
Oh,
called
it's too
Sonic.
much
Why is it
about
about
the
Sonic?
human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like this movie's called Sonic. Why is there so much Sonic? Like that's the point.
That's the move. What did you think you're gonna get? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say for this one because I mean the first one I enjoyed it more than I thought they were gonna screw it up. I'll be honest. I just assumed it was
Mm.
gonna be screwed up, and a lot of things Sonic has done over the years have gotten screwed up. It just happens.
Mm.
It's unfortunate. I'm a fan, but it's unfortunate. It does happen. But the Sonic movie was surprisingly not one of them, even though it
Mm.
very easily could have been. And now this one, I mean, Knuckles, Tails, Jim Carrey really looks like Eggman in this one, so
Mm.
I'm excited to feel
I'm
like a Sonic movie that really
worried.
feels like Sonic.
I'm worried because Jim Carrey said he's retiring from acting. I'm like, no, we need you as Jim Carrey. We need you as Eggman for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna say it. I did get spoiled, and I don't know the plot of this movie at all. But there's like one image that was floating around the internet that supposedly spoils the ending. I won't say it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You probably know what I'm talking about. It was I didn't go looking for it. I just clicked around the internet and saw it one
Exactly. I
day.
saw a YouTube thumbnail and it said like this thing in the Sonic movie. I
Yeah.
was like,
It's like great, but I mean, all I will say because I don't think is spoilery to say this is that they probably are setting up for a third one as well. Which
well, they announced they're doing a third one.
oh, okay, they already announced. Okay, there you go.
And Knuckles Paramount series.
Okay, cool. Yes, yeah, okay, I
You
do
knew
remember
about
that
that?
actually. Yeah, I knew about the Knuckles thing. So yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, we want if Jim Carrey's Robotnik was one of the best things about the first movie. I imagine it's going to be one of the highlights of the second movie. Hopefully, he continues, doing that.
I have some theories about where they can go. I don't know if theory is the right word,
Mhm.
but I have some ideas of where they can go with the franchise post 3 if Jim Carrey really doesn't want to act anymore.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming he's committed to 3 because they wouldn't announce the movie without having everyone sign on board. Or if they
Yeah.
did, that would be a stupid thing to do.
I would imagine that, yeah, he probably is on board for 3. And if he's announced or considering retiring from acting, it's probably more of a in the next few years, at some point soon, whatever, not immediately.
So what he said was he's retiring, but he would only return to film something if it was like a golden script that
Okay.
like came from the gods, whatever you would say,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like a really good, like something worth him doing, because he said you wouldn't hear anybody really say this in Hollywood, but I have enough. So
Yeah.
obviously you can't offer him like, oh, we'll double your,
No.
because he doesn't care about the money.
Yeah, he
He
can't.
cares
I'm,
about the
I'm sure he
quality
can't
of
spend the money he has.
no.
Like, it's never gonna happen.
So I think, and I kind of like, because he's not getting anything out of it. Like, oh, money, like I have that.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like he's saying. So it sounds like he would only act for something that he feels like he wants to act in, and I hope that the massive success that the Sonic movie series has had so far would have him. I don't know if he would hear from fans positively, of
Yeah.
course, about like people. Oh, people really like me in this movie, and people really like this movie series. I hope he knows or will know how positively passionate um, the Sonic movies are received, and that he is a part of.
Right.
I don't really know. I guess I'm wording it properly. I'm trying to,
No, I
but
think I know what you're getting at. I get
yeah,
what you're getting at. That money's not going to persuade him. Adoration might, because that's
yeah,
something that would be whatever. I think an experience would. I think if the Sonic 3 movie script or 4 or whatever, if he's already on for 3, might be, this is good. I like where this goes. I like what I could do with my character. It's gonna be fun acting
yeah,
in this. I will do it. So yeah, I mean, that if that's where his mind's at, hopefully Sonic he's still on board with. Yeah.
exactly. And the other thing I was gonna say is if he does truly decide, no, I'm done after 3, assuming he
Mm-hmm.
does 3, because again it'd be stupid for them to announce 3 without having him on board. But if he did say, no, I'm done, then how would they proceed? Would they treat 3 as a conclusion, um, and maybe kill off Robotnik, or leave his fate unknown? And if Jim Carrey really didn't want to return, would they have someone like Agent Stone, like his Agent Stone, pick up the mantle? In which case, he would pick up the mantle as Eggman, because he would maybe stop calling himself, because he's not
Right.
Robotnik, but he could pick up the name of
Yeah, that'd be
Eggman.
possible. I know, like, I remember the comics did that thing where I know the comics and canon and
The
whatnot are,
Archie
yeah, the
comics.
Archie comics.
Yeah, completely different multiverse series,
Right.
omniverse, whatever you want to call it.
But I remember they did something. I don't know it super well. I read them a little bit.
I do, so I know what you're
All right.
talking
Yeah,
about.
they transferred like Robotnik's like brain or consciousness or something into like a robot body, and it looked
So
different.
what happened was around issue 50, they didn't expect the series was going to last much longer, so they made an end game. In fact, the 4-issue arc was called Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
where they killed off Robotnik in his own. He used a device called the Ultimate Annihilator, and it winded up killing him. Which I say kill in quotes, because what it really did was rip him apart from the molecular level. And then later on, he returned,
Okay.
like some device brought the molecules back, but then it was only temporary and he dispersed again. So that Robotnik they refer to as Robotnik Prime for the Prime universe, like that
Mm-hmm.
universe, because there's a whole multiverse in the Archie Sonic comics, or was, because it's no longer.
Yeah, I know it's
Uh,
very messy at this
yeah.
point.
Well, it's the comic's not even in existence
Mm.
anymore, for reasons I won't get into, but legal shenanigans, it
I
seems,
know I know a little bit
with
of it, but
some
yeah, we don't have to talk about
old
it.
writers. Assuming it's, I've heard. I mean, again, I'm not going to go too into it, but I don't know if it's because of those writers, or if it's because Archie didn't renew the license, or if it's because Sega decided not to. I've heard all these different things,
Mhm.
and I don't claim to know what actually happened. But the point is, the comic's not going on anymore. But what I was getting at was, because there's a multiverse, there was so initially there was from an alternate there was something called Night of a Thousand Sonics, which I think it was just Sonics from all different universes come together to fight against something that Robotnik Prime was trying to get a hold of, called Giant Borg, which was this multiversal mecha.
Okay.
And he teamed up with the evil Sonic, who later became Scourge. But one of the um, one of the alternate universes had a Robotnik whose his version of Endgame was he roboticized himself and he fought
Okay.
against the freedom fighters. And so when he was defeated, his consciousness was uploaded to one of his satellites. And so he kind of just remained there. Like, I guess accepting his loss, there was nothing he could do. And at some point in the comics, the Robotnik Prime got sent to his universe and was on his satellite and station, and he like was telling him like, "Oh, how could you give up?" Blah blah blah. And then he returned home because he helped him return home, and I guess that's what initiated him like, I'm gonna do something again, and he winds up just nuking the world, and then like he gets his victory, and then he's just like bored. He's like, I nuked the world. I got nothing else to do. So
Yeah.
because Robotnik Prime was ripped apart at the molecular level, he goes to Mobius, is what the planet was called in the
Right.
comics. He goes to Mobius Prime to be their new Robotnik. Um,
Okay.
and Robotnik is always all about um, outplaying Sonic. Like, he even specifically says in the comics, like, or he says this in the IDW comics, which is a different continuity, but also writer Ian Flynn had said this, I believe, for the Archie comics. But the whole point of Robotnik is like he could destroy Sonic and then the Freedom Fighters and everybody wants. He could like bomb the whole planet, but that's not the point. He wants to outdo Sonic, and so I'm guessing that that was the thought process behind this Robotnik from a different universe, saying like, I nuked them and like I have nothing,
I still have to.
I still didn't outdo them,
Right.
so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
wants to outdo Sonic.
It's like winning
So
the chess game, kind of like he wants that moment, not
yeah,
necessarily
exactly. Like I
knocking the
can
chess game
flip the
over.
chess. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
flip the chessboard
Yeah.
and say, that's it. I
Yeah.
overpowered you, but like that's not the point.
Right.
So
Um.
so when he goes to Mobius Prime as Robo Robotnik, I don't remember if he like rebuilt a new body, or if he used a piece of the giant board from his universe to create a body. I forget the specifics of it, but he uses like a fake skin and he pretends to be Robotnik Prime come back, and they're like, "Oh, how's Robotnik?" And some acid gets on him and the fake skin comes off and you see he's Robo Robotnik underneath. And so when he gets defeated, his mind gets uploaded to one of the so Robotnik Prime had a bunch of robot bodies
Like
that were
backups.
all different shapes and sizes, and one of them was the Eggman one that we know.
And
Um,
that's like Sonic Adventure looking
yeah,
Eggman. Yes, yeah. And I remember part of the reason the comics did it was
shift closer to the games.
to the games. Yeah, yeah, to shift
Yeah,
into what, because Adventure was kind of the first Sonic game that was like, I mean, Sonic games had a story, but like read the instruction manual or something like that. Look
there were like
further.
yeah, I feel like a lot of the Sonic games, the classic Sonic games, were what you would refer to like as a silent film.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, like the Knuckles and Robotnik and what's happening in the little cutscenes and stuff like that. But Sonic Adventure was the first one that has like a dialogue. There's a straight up definite story in your face.
mm,
So if kids are playing Sonic Adventure for the first time, they go, "Oh, I want to read the comics," and the comics are
yeah,
completely
different
different. It was
universe,
like, yeah,
completely different.
so yeah, they wanted to make
They
it a
made
little
attempts
closer.
at adapting stuff, but they were still set in their own universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that Robotnik from the alternate, he was just referred to as Robo Robotnik to differentiate him, and he uploaded his mind to the Eggman looking robot, and then he was a robot for the longest time, and then was this alien race that they did some kind of test between like, oh, what's better, robot life or biological life, and the end result was they turned everyone who was turned into a robot on Mobius back to normal.
Oh, okay.
And it was irreversible, so he couldn't roboticize people anymore.
Ooh, okay.
And so that's how he became a human version of Eggman. So it's like a long process, but that's how he was established as Eggman in the comics.
A new human Eggman at the end. That's yeah. Wow, that's a lot. I knew a little bit of it.
Cool, because he had, as a robot, he had some abilities, and he had this roboticizer touch. So he would touch someone and turn them into a robot.
Ooh,
but for humans, it worked differently. So the animal characters, or the Mobians in the comics, they would become their robot versions, you know, so move around as robots, or they would be mindless slaves. The human versions, they would just they would be like immobile statues.
Ooh.
So you just like turn to a robot statue. Which is scary in and of itself. Would you rather be a mindless like a robot slave or a mindless robot statue?
It's pick your poison at that point. I don't know if either one matters.
But it was all reversed by the alien race, and yep, there we go.
Cool.
That's the history of Robotnik.
I read, like, I did read the Archie comics when I was a kid, but I would read them. There's a little store that was like a walk away from my house, and they would get the comics in. I didn't buy every single one. I would buy them once in a blue moon. So I had, probably by the end, if I look around, I probably have like 20 or so comics, but that's 20 comics over probably, I don't know how many there were between when I started reading them and when I stopped reading them, 100 at least. So it was very fragmented, like what issues or what I knew was happening. So
and I have to say, because I would eat myself inside of it and say it, but a piece of trivia was that I don't remember which way it went, but in the comics, it was intended for that Robo Robotnik to be the same from the whole Giant Borg saga. But later, I think it was retconned to be two different Robo Robotniks. So the one that became Eggman was just a different Robo Robotnik. It's either that or the other way around, and they were the same the whole time. But I just remember it like shifting.
There was some like switcheroo.
It was like retconned because there were some things that didn't make sense. I was like, okay.
Yeah, in comic books they do that stuff.
So there was like a Robo Robotnik version 1.0 and a Robo Robotnik version 2.0. I think they were differentiated as, but yeah, I had to say that because I had
to. Otherwise, somebody's gonna call you out on it.
Yeah. I'm usually the one calling people out for Sonic lore.
But if you're gonna call people out and they're like, wait a minute, I can call you out now. Then you gotta be prepared to defend yourself. I know the game. I know the game. So I guess what I was initially saying with all that was, so if Jim Carrey doesn't return or whatever for some future thing, they have a guideline of what they could potentially do if they wanted to get a new Robotnik. Right. They could pull something from an existing. Obviously, the movies are a separate canon to the comics, which are separate from the games. Everything. But there's a precedence. There's a guideline. There's something to point to be like, well, we could do something like that. We could do our version of that. And
exactly. They could pull a Doctor Who essentially, which is what that was. And they're like, Robotnik's consciousness went to someone else. He would have to turn to a robot first, but
they could totally.
They can make up their own roboticization for the movie, and turn him into a robot and upload his consciousness somewhere. But do you know of the prequel comic for the Sonic 2 movie? It's called.
No, I don't think so.
I got it on Amazon. I got it on my Kindle app, so I read it. And there's some neat things, and I don't know if they're gonna explore them in the movie or what. But this is the. Oh, hold on. I want to show the cover, but it jumped to like the last page that I was on. I finished reading it, so it jumped to the last page.
That makes sense.
Oh, come on, this Kindle app.
I didn't know the movie had a tie-in comics. Is this, I'm assuming, in between the first movie?
I believe it's in between. It's like it's like leading up to the movie. Okay. And a couple things happen. And one of the there's a bunch of short stories, and one of the stories was about, I guess, notes that Robotnik left behind for Stone as like how to succeed me. And like what you have to do, integrate yourself into certain social situations, even though you're there better. Like, it's funny because he says, he pretty much says, like, even though you're like stupid compared to me, you're like the me compared to everyone else.
Oh, okay.
I forget his exact words, but it makes sense as to why he would have him as an assistant if he, I don't know if respect is the right word, but he sees him as smarter than everyone else, but he's still smarter than him.
Yeah, he's the
So I
biggest
guess
fish in the pond, but Robotnik is the shark in the ocean or something like that. Like,
yeah, he's like even bigger.
yeah.
So he's like, giving him directions in his notes that he's following, and he basically integrates himself into the coffee shop.
Hmm.
And
The Mean
like
Bean one.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
he starts off as like the new guy in there, and like
Hmm.
like the boss, and everyone's talking down to him, and then he winds up like taking over it.
Oh, okay.
He like with underhanded tactics and stuff, and like the one dishwasher guy, I think it was a dishwasher or someone. There's one guy who was like his lackey there.
Nice.
So which I remember in the trailer for the second movie, you see Stone in the coffee shop, and he's like, he's back, and so I'm like, oh, so I guess that's how he got to the coffee shop. So I guess it's stuff that you didn't need to know, but it's interesting to have that backstory. And they had one
Establishes
with
some stuff.
yeah, but it's interesting because they had a story with Knuckles, who was searching for Sonic,
Hmm.
which I'm like, how does Knuckles know Sonic already, unless he knows from his
Hmm.
ancestors? But it seems like the story presented in the prequel comic, which I'm not going to spoil, but I'm going to just briefly talk about non-spoilerly, whatever the word
What a word.
is
What a
that
word.
he's looking for Sonic for some reason, and then
Yeah.
Tails is looking for Sonic. So I'm like, why do they know Sonic? How did they know
Yeah.
Sonic? So Tails goes dimension hopping. He's like, oh, I'm gonna, I can pick up this energy spike from this dimension, until the end where I think it's where the post credits picked up where Tails he's like, I found him, whatever, and he goes
Yeah,
fly
he
off.
comes into the actual
Um,
Earth or whatever.
but what was interesting was as he was searching for Sonic, somebody was following him, and
Hmm.
I think it was like these characters that Knuckles like hired. I don't know about
Okay.
money wise, but like working for him.
Hmm.
Um, and what's pretty cool is the different dimensions he goes into seem to each be like a zone from the Sonic games. Which I'm like,
Nice.
oh, so each of these zones is its own dimension now.
Oh, I hope we get some cameos of zones, because that was one of the coolest parts of the movie was the ending when Robotnik said like the mushroom place and it's like
Yeah,
Mushroom Hill or whatever. I
the
was like, oh,
Mushroom
that's so
Planet
cool.
or something.
Yeah.
But
Um.
it's just weird that they would break apart these zones that are in the Sonic world and be like, yeah, this is its dimension. This is its dimension. It's like Oprah, you get a dimension. You get a dimension. So there was one that looked like Marble Garden. There was one that
Oh,
looked like
nice.
Spring Yard, all from the first game. Um, and what was interesting was when Tails appears in the one that looks like Marble Garden, he encounters this lizard-looking guy who's
Hmm.
he's not like your typical Sonic looking lizard, but he was just like a humanoid lizard, and he's like, "Oh, you dare enter my domain?" And Tails just like flies over him. He's like, "Oh, these people are like picking up on my trail," and then he just keeps going into these rings to go from dimension to dimension,
Yeah.
and then he comes onto Earth, and then he's like, "Oh, I think I found him." So, and then you see the people who were after him, they like lost him or something, I forget,
Hmm.
but the people who were after him were, I don't know who they are, but their outfit, they're wearing like a bird
Okay.
masks.
We saw
So
like
I'm putting this out there now because I want to be the first person to say it if I'm right, and if I'm not right, I think it's a cool theory still, a cool idea. But for anyone familiar with some of the classic Sonic games, there's one called Tales of Sky Patrol that
okay.
deals with the, Robotnik's not the villain, but he has his own villain. It's called the Battle Bird Empire
Ooh.
or Cuckoo Empire, which they're all birds. So I'm like, what if this is a like a hint towards future villains, like post Jim Carrey Robotnik, like the Battle Bird Empire or
That would be
Battle
cool.
Cuckoo Empire, I think they're called.
I mean, the fact that they have the cafe named after a Mean Bean machine, like they're definitely not above pulling from
Yeah,
more obscure Sonic stuff. At least as cameo things or whatnot. So yeah, that could be it. I was thinking, they're not they don't really strike me as the types that would be portrayed as villains that Knuckles hires to track Tails or whatever. But the Flicky birds, that's
oh yeah, the
what I was thinking. I was like
Flickies.
birds,
That's interesting
birds, old
too.
Sonic birds.
They were humanoid and taller than him.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I know there's the owl and like there's an owl statue in the trailer and stuff.
Yeah,
So I don't know if we'll learn more about
I wonder if
whatever's going on
birds
with
will play a
that.
big role. And they could
Yeah.
tie in. So in the Archie comics, when they adapted Battle Cuckoo Empire, if that's what they're called. I think in the
Mhm.
Archie comics they call them the Battle Bird Armada, and there was this idea of like almost every main bird character was, not everyone, but like a lot of the rogues or villain ones used to be a part of the Armada and went rogue.
Mhm.
So it would be interesting if like Longclaw, like Sonic's adoptive mother from the past in the movies, used to be
Mhm.
a part of the Battle Cuckoo Empire,
That,
and
yeah, that would be a cool tie-in. Yeah.
and like, oh,
Um,
maybe she left to protect Sonic, who was in their possession or something. Like there's so many wild ideas, like for a post Robotnik, um, Sonic cinematic universe.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they could do. I don't know if Chaos is ever gonna show up in these or whatnot, but they could do
Well, I'm
Chaos. Uh,
thinking. Sorry, the second movie seems to be adapting lightly adapting 2 and 3,
right.
game wise. So I think 3 is gonna lightly adapt at least CD, because the 3 for the logo for the movie 3 has the same visual effect as Metal Sonic's eye.
Right. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember when that image came out and people were pointing that out. Yeah, so I could see them doing that. Do Metal Sonic, maybe do some sort of time travel-y thing or something with it. Say get a Sonic CD, like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then I guess Robotnik could be thrown into a time portal at the end, and it's like,
Oh, this one?
regardless of well, at the end of 3, and it's
Yeah.
like depending on if Jim Carrey wants to return or not, will
Oh, there
be
you
if
go.
Robotnik comes back or not, because he's not dead, but
But he might be gone forever, or maybe
yeah,
not. However they
yeah,
feel like doing it. Yeah,
pretty
no, that would be
much.
a good way
They
to
could
end
leave
that.
it ambiguous like that, or they
Yeah,
could just end it after 3, which I hope they don't, but they could,
yeah,
because Sonic has such a huge cast and lore to pull from, and by adapting it you're like redoing those stories, so like you're not stuck to adhering to the same story. You could be like, I want to throw in Chaos and Shadow in this movie, how are we going to do
right.
this?
It's one of the reasons I think the Marvel movies or the or comic book movies in general um work so well. I don't think it gets talked about enough, or why they're so popular, or why they're so ripe for making movies. I mean, there's tons of reasons why, but one I think definite reason is pretty much what you just said, which is there's so much already established um written stuff to pull from. So if you're going to do like, oh, I'm going to do a Spider-Man movie, okay, well, here's, you know 80 villains and
Mm,
hundreds of stories that have happened. Pick your favorite that you want to put on screen, mesh them around. Like, take
yeah.
your favorite parts from these and put it together into one cohesive story. Rewrite one of the sagas or something like that. You do the same thing with Batman. Same thing with all the Marvel Avenger movies. It's like, yeah, you can do Thanos, but do them different than the comics did it. Do all this stuff and do
Mm,
it how you want to. I think it's easier than coming up with something out of nothing. It's a lot easier to have a
mm.
gigantic established world, but freely able to rewrite it. Take this
You
and do
say
it the way you
that,
want it.
but there are people who hate that, who want it
Yes.
exactly like it was, and I think for me it depends on what it is like, and how they do it. If
Yeah.
you want to adhere exactly to something or stray and adapt, it really just comes down to the end result, or not necessarily the end result, but like how you go about doing it. Like, are you going to, depending on what the series is, are you going to take yourself too seriously? Are you going to have fun with it? Like, I think you have to have the right set of circumstances to either have a really successful pure copy or a really successful loose adaptation.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, I think there's landmines in both of those paths. But if you
Yeah.
avoid them, they can be good either way.
And
Yeah,
maybe
loose.
I'm not the right person to judge too, because I typically like most movie adaptations. And part of that comes from sometimes I haven't played the original game or been exposed to it. Like, for example, um, I didn't grow up in the Nintendo, so I didn't grow up with Mario until Super Mario 64.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed the Mario movie because I didn't know who Mario was.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is cool.
yeah, this
you
movie's
know?
fine. Why not?
Same thing with like Prince of Persia. I didn't play the Prince of Persia games.
Mhm.
I knew of what it was because my friend was playing it, and he's like, oh, there's this mechanic that you can like undo time for however long. I'm like, that's cool.
Mhm.
And then the movie came out, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to be. So like,
Right, right.
I guess that also comes into play. Like, um you have to assume that you're not catering to me. You have to assume that you're catering to someone who's familiar with the game. I'm
Right.
assuming, you know.
There's
So
definitely a tightrope to walk where, you want to please the fans, and the fans are fans because they like whatever the original thing is. At the same flip side of the coin, you want to do something good in whatever medium you're doing. If you're turning something into film, it's a different medium. You have to do it a different way. You have to take some changes here and there for certain, different reasons or stuff like that. So sometimes, yeah, it's probably best to try to just mirror whatever the original thing is. Other times, it's probably best to change things. But I think when something has a large universe, which is kind of what I was saying with what you were saying with Sonic and Marvel stuff, or when something has just a vast enough universe, I think you have more opportunity to be loose with the adaptation and still make it really good.
yeah,
Like if you take Lord of the Rings, it's like, well, if you make an adaptation, you should probably just do what's in the books. Don't change it too much because there's only so many books. There's only so much content there. It is. I mean, maybe Lord of the Rings is a bad example because there's this Silmarillion and all this other stuff. And take some beloved book and you make an adaptation of it. You should probably stick close to the book and adapt it. But if you take something like a comic book series that's been published since the 60s and is still out now, or a video game that happened in the early 90s and is still, making games till now, and there's a lot to pull from. When you turn it into a movie, I think you're more free to, you don't have to just take this one thing and turn it into a film. You take a ton of stuff and you take your favorite aspects of it and turn it into a film. So,
yeah. So I don't know how much time you have. I don't know when you want to be off.
Yeah,
By.
I probably should get going pretty soon here.
Okay.
It's past 9 for me, and I never
Yeah,
ate
I know we were
dinner
aiming.
tonight, so
Oh, okay. So
probably
I
go do that
scarfed
soon.
down food before we met.
That would have been smart. Should have done that.
Not when I said give me a minute. By then I had already finished, but I had to like run out real quick to do something. I was like,
It's all good.
crap, I gotta run.
It's all good.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up. And I am excited for the Sonic movie, and I am excited to play more Horizon. But I'm not excited over the fact that it's keeping me from doing other things like my Sonic timeline video, which I haven't touched in weeks. Because I would typically chip away at it at night for a couple hours, and now that's reserved for playing Horizon. And then I'm like, like if I could catch up during the day, like if I can kind of catch up with art and other stuff, at least during the day, like between work and play, I can work on the timeline video a bit, or I
Right.
could just finish Horizon and then be like, all right, I'm playing, I'm working on this now.
Yeah, my friend who also has Horizon, we're talking about the game and stuff here and there, and we both said, yeah, it's like it's just a time sink when you play it because you play and then something else appears on the map and you go over to that,
Oh yeah,
and then you're like, I'm just gonna do this one more thing, or you go into like a cauldron and it's like once you enter the cauldron, you cannot leave or whatever. I'm like, I got time. What was this gonna take me? Half hour, hour max, and then 2 hours into the cauldron, I'm like,
So I just
right.
got, or well, I said this last time, but I just got from what I think is all of them, all of the different gears that you use to explore, because you'll come across parts
nice.
that say like, oh, this is a blocked path. Come back when
Right.
you have the right tool. So I think I have all the tools now. So I'm like, you know what? Before I continue the story, I'm just gonna explore as much of the map as I can, get that out of the way, do what I can, and so. I think last night I just hit a little over half the map, and I'm like,
Oh, nice.
I'm like, oh,
The map is
God,
gigantic,
oh.
gigantic in that game.
I know.
Yeah, like I said, I'm only
Is
in
it
like
bigger than the first game? Because I don't remember the
yeah,
first game taking this long.
yeah, it's definitely bigger than the first game, definitely.
I've
Um,
encountered so many glitches too.
I haven't encountered very many glitches, but I'm only, like I said, I'm only level 30. I've only probably sat down and played it a handful, like maybe like once a week since I got it, and I didn't play it the whole first week and got it like that the next week. But every time I play it, I play for like 6 or 8 hours.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm very happy actually that the game does the what you just mentioned. This is a blocked path, and it tells you that. A lot of games don't do that, but it was very nice, especially in the early game, because I'm the type when it's an open world game, especially I slowly uncover as much of the map and try to do everything in that area, and then work my way to the next thing and do everything in that area.
Like you told me to go here, I go everywhere else first.
Yeah, I do everything else that I possibly can, and then I go there. So being able to know like it's a block path and not just sit there for hours and hours being like, I'm trying to get in this, I don't know how to get in it, I'll have to come back and give
On the
up.
flips, they tell you they leave an icon on your maps with the tool, like block path, whatever, come back with the right tool. And when you have the tool, I think it shows the tool as the icon.
Right.
The problem is Um, it. I wish like two things. One, I used a tool somewhere and the icon didn't disappear. So I'm hoping that that's just a one-off, and I'm hoping that doesn't mess with anything else.
Yep.
Pretty much whenever you reload the game, it'll like fix those little errors because I've run into some glitches. I've encountered areas where it changes from like one of the machines called a charger. There might be
Mhm.
an icon for the charger, and it'll say unknown charger site. And when you walk there, then it'll appear on the map and say,
Charger
charger
site.
site. But I would go to a few different places, and it wouldn't update the icons.
Oh,
And I
that's
even did one of the relic ruins, and I think it was still grayed out unknown, and I think it said unknown and completed, or like it replaced unknown and said completed, but it was still grayed out. It's like,
oh
what?
weird.
But when I reloaded the game, it fixed it, and it was green to say I completed it. And so I haven't double checked if reloading it caused the icon to update for like, oh, I already used that tool.
Right.
But
Hopefully it
there's
does, because that bothers me so much. I remember, I know like Bethesda games are like known for this, but I've had Skyrim, I've had Fallout give me like a quest and I complete the quest and then it's still
yeah.
there. It's just still there and it's there forever. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah. So I mean, not that I'm going for platinum or anything, but I would hope that I would not be prevented from getting any trophies because of that. Like I did
Yeah.
it.
Right, right.
But alternatively, I kind of wish it remained on the map with a check mark or something. This way, if I looked at a complete map, I would be able to be like, oh, did I get that? Did I get that? But now, whenever you do something, the icon disappears. Like for those blocked paths, if like you get
Yeah.
like one of the like a blocked, if you use the right tool to open the whatever it is, and you get the goodies in there that were locked behind whatever you needed the tool to open up, um, then on your map it disappears because you used it. It's not there anymore to use. And I'm like, I wish there would just be a check mark or green and say complete, so that
Yeah.
I could keep track of which ones I did. Because if I want to go back, if I missed any, or if I want to go back and be like, did I get everything? And then it's, I can't check. Like I can
Right.
walk
I mean,
around
I've
aimlessly.
already had that the experience that basically you're complaining about here. I had that happen to me where I saw ones on a map, I went and did it, I then went did some other stuff, and then I couldn't remember. Wait, when I saw that on the map, did I go and get it, or did I wait and go?
Yeah.
Did I say I was going to come back to it? And then I went on the map, and I was like, I think it was around here. I don't see it. Was I around here, or was it somewhere else? And now I just don't know. I don't remember.
I'm
Um,
assuming
or did
because
I go to it and it was a blocked path, and I
yeah.
walked away? And is it one of these blocked path icons that I'm seeing?
Well,
And
if you
that's
don't go up to it, but I guess if you're close enough in the vicinity, there's a question mark that appears on the map. So I'm
yeah,
assuming as long as you uncover all the map, it'll be on the map regardless if it's a
yeah.
question mark or not. And if it's not there, after you've uncovered the whole map, if it's not there, you must have done it. That's my guess.
That makes
Um,
sense. Yeah. I again, I'm like, I wouldn't even say I'm midway through the game. I'm like at the maybe quarter point ish. I feel like I don't know, maybe even a little
well,
less, but
well, no spoilers, but there's a point where you have to choose between three different quests. Did you get to that point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
maybe I
they
don't
give
know.
you a choice of like you could do this quest, or this quest. You gotta because you gotta find three different
Hmm.
things, and each one has its own level set to it. So I don't know if these aren't the right levels, but just for an example, it's like oh, you need to be level 20, you need to be level 25, and you need to be level 30.
Okay.
Which those aren't the levels. I just
Right.
forget. I mean, if they are, then kudos to me.
Right.
But like that's the idea. So like obviously I should choose this one first, But like they could leave it up to you however you want to do it. But
I did get to something that was sort of like that, so maybe I don't know. Another thing, there was something that did have. I remember looking at the levels of something to choose. I don't know.
did you talk to someone who? Well, I can't really ask
Honest,
without spoiling
the other
it.
thing is that I haven't played the game in at least a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Like I did kind of put it down a while ago and have been meaning to go back to it. So I don't know.
Hmm.
Oh, there's a Lego. Did you see the tall neck Lego? There's a
No.
tall neck Lego coming out. I want to say May 1st. Actually, it looks so cool. I don't. I have a few
Hmm.
Legos. Like I'm not like a big Lego collector or anything. I buy a few Legos of a really cool. Like I have the Scooby Doo van. I have the DeLorean from Back to the Future, but I just really like Scooby Doo and Back to the Future. But
Hmm.
the Horizon Lego Tall Neck. I'm like, that looks really cool. I might get that one.
That's
It's
cool.
expensive, but
I'd want it, but I'd have nowhere to put it. But I'd want it.
That's why I don't collect too many Legos, because I have like not that much room to display
I love
Legos.
building Legos, but once I'm done, I'm like, right, I don't have nowhere to put this.
Yeah, and it's very fragile, so I can't even like. I'll just put it in a box and take it out some other time.
Unless you glue the pieces as you do it.
It's true. Yeah, I don't have the patience
then don't
for
mess
that.
up. One little mess up and you're
Then I'm
stuck.
chipping away at some glue to get my piece back out. Yeah.
I got this Lego glue because I had gotten this little Mewtwo Lego thing.
Oh, cool.
Like, to look like the sprites from the old games.
Yeah, I think I have a Charizard one actually of that.
But I noticed that they're like, not that they're loose, but just the way they're made is like you'll have two Legos and then like one connected this way. So of course it can kind of rotate. So it feels finicky and fragile, even if it's not really fragile, but it's not like hard set in stone.
Is it
like a statue? So I got this Lego glue to use, and then I just never put it together.
That happens. Is it actually Lego, or is it like something Lego like?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Because I know like Lego brand stuff are usually pretty. Lego's the best quality one, but I've seen some other things. I think because I'm trying to remember what my Charizard thing is. I know it's in a baggie. You get it in like a baggie. I don't know if it's actually Lego. I know there are. I think there are Pokemon Legos, but I don't know. Okay, now I don't know. I don't know Lego well enough, but I know like Lego brand Legos usually everything holds really well. Off-brand stuff from other block-like things that are like Legos sometimes have more problems with that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love putting Legos. I remember like sometimes my niece will have Legos to put together, and I'm like, oh, I want to help put it together. I want to put it together for her, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done. I don't have to put it anywhere. Like
you can have it, and you can destroy it, and little Lego pieces can be all over your house. It's fine.
Like, oh, this goes here, and this goes here, and then I'm done. I'm like, there you go. Nice. I don't need to deal with it now. But I love putting them together.
Yeah, same.
So, I don't know if I have a good title for this episode.
I don't know. We talked a lot about Sonic movie.
I like to usually find a funny joke and then put that in, but
yeah, we were very serious the whole episode. Very serious. Call it very serious episode. A very serious episode of GG Gaming.
And people are gonna think it's clickbait. Like, oh my god, is he dying?
Something
happened. Yeah.
a very serious announcement about PapaGenos' health. He is in good health. He is in good health. We just want to let you know.
PapaGenos retiring?
Yeah, question mark.
No, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Find out at the end.
Did Sakurai hunt down PapaGenos and kill him? Find out on GG Gaming. No,
last time on GG Gaming, Sakurai was hunting down PapaGenos for discussing all of the Smash leaks. PapaGenos claimed that Nintendo was good about handling leaks, but little did he know they were still working on finalizing his assassination.
They weren't even going to do Fighter Pass 2. They just kept it going to try to track me down and kill me.
They're like, we need more bait. Yeah. Fighter Pass 2 was
bait. All bait. Yeah. Those characters just get deleted off of everybody's game. Like, yeah, we were just doing it to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Just delete Fighters Pass 2. The whole deal with Disney and everything was just to find PapaGenos.
Just a fake. It was all fake.
All right. Well,
okay. Well,
that's a good way to leave off. Any final thoughts on anything?
No, I will try to. We'll try to do this again much sooner than the length between the last time. And hopefully we can talk about how we feel about the Sonic 2 movie, because I'm probably going to see it on Friday, so we can talk about that next time.
I'm hoping to see it Friday too.
Yeah. So whether or not we do this in the very near future, or if it's a month or whatever, however long it is, we can talk about that next time, or at least say how we felt about it.
And this is and on my side, I'm still trying to figure out all this OBS stuff. OBS is the software. I'm not saying BS as in bull. Just trying to figure out all this BS stuff.
The old BS.
Oh, BS. But yeah, I'm trying to figure it out and learning some new things. And I heard that depending on your computer, OBS could only support like one or two co-hosts. And I have some worries because last time we tried to do video, my computer kept crashing, but I upgraded my RAM since then. But I honestly have no idea how many people it'll support now. Hoping that it'll be okay if I add in two or three people. Otherwise, we'll just play it by ear. But the idea is that we'll have multiple people on like we used to do. Alpha couldn't make it this week because he was busy. He said maybe Friday. And then I reached out to you, and you actually responded.
Usually it's like I text you back a day or so late. I think actually,
Yeah.
did I text you back a day or so late today? I think I texted you today and you texted me yesterday. I don't know what it was.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, I think I did text. I might have texted you last night, saying, "Oh, Alpha can't make
but
it.
you
Did
were
you
asking me
wanna?"
about today, and then this
Yeah.
afternoon I was like, yeah, I can do today. I'm around. I'm
Not
just
that
getting
you're a
home.
backup or anything. I don't want you to think that.
Yeah,
But
I'm an
because
auxiliary. I'm the backup.
no,
Second.
because no, because me and Alpha were trying to like establish figuring out
Mhm.
OBS before we started, telling people because I didn't want to bring you on or Nint or anyone else and then like things just like broke
Right, right.
down. I wanted to make sure I had stuff going. But I was like, oh, if he can't do it, I can continue that test with somebody. So,
Yeah, yeah.
like, and things seemed to go smooth last week. Things seemed to go smooth this week. This week, I tried to add in the noise suppression because when I listened back last episode, there was just like the background noise, like in the background,
Wind.
and I was coming out of one headphone, and I don't know why. So I'm hoping it fixed for this one. So I think once figure it out. Then I can create a new title card for three people or whatever and test
Mhm.
it out. So it's not like I came back into the full swing. It's like everybody's ready to do it with us,
Right, right.
So but just trying to figure out, and I think we're getting there, and it's working. And so I would love to get back to having everybody on again, as long as the computer doesn't crap out.
Cool.
So
Yeah, no, I'm happy
that's the
to
goal.
hang out and do that stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, usually when you text me, I text you back like the next day, or it's like you guys are like, I'm free Sunday, and I'm like, oh, I have stuff. That's like the worst
Yeah.
day for me. So like it's just been bad timing for a
Well,
long time. But hopefully we'll be able to do stuff going
we've
forward
been
here.
aiming for Mondays,
Okay.
like this time slot, and with Friday as a backup,
Yeah.
because that's what seems to work. And I mean, as everyone else hopefully comes aboard, the schedule will probably change. Not change, but be like, oh, if we can't do it this day, but so and so could do it,
do
and
it.
I could do it too.
Right, right.
But I'm trying to focus on a day so that now that I'm kind of doing it live, or that's the attempt, that people want to tune in. Oh, it's Monday.
Right, right.
So
Yeah. Just keep hitting me up or whatever. This month in particular, I just put out my room tour video today, and in it, and in my like April Fool's video, I said I'm going to try to stream a lot this month and see how streaming goes. So I'm going to be focused on that probably for most of this month. If you catch me though at a time when if I've already streamed or if I plan on streaming later in the day, I'll definitely be on. Otherwise, going forward. I'm just going to see how this month goes, focusing mainly on streaming. And then, I'll show up here and there like I can when I can.
cool.
Hopefully
Well,
more than
reach out to
however
you.
long it's been since the last time.
Yeah, maybe next week if you and Alpha are available, we can aim for a 3 people video.
Cool. Yeah,
Or
we can try for
just go
that.
back to 2 again. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's like playing it by ear.
Cool.
But all right, where can they find you?
I'm PapaGenos, so you can find me on YouTube as the YouTuber PapaGenos. Type in PapaGenos, find my channel. Mostly talk about gaming stuff, usually speculation, leaks, and rumors and stuff. There was a big focus on Smash, but obviously Smash Ultimate is over for right now. But
yeah.
still talk about other stuff.
I said before, but we'll save it for next time. But I said
Sure.
before, when you mentioned All-Stars Brawl, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, and Multiverses, I was like, oh, I forgot about those. Like, what's going on with them? So next time we could talk about it.
Sure, yeah, totally.
But,
I haven't talked too much about Multiverses because Warner Brothers is really, they've been like scouring the internet, taking down anything about leaks and stuff. There was like a big data mine for it. So I kind of was like,
I forgot about the game.
yeah, it's doing like these beta test things that come out all the time. I think somebody data mined it, or maybe multiple people data mined one of the beta tests. There's a lot of characters that are sort of leaked right now and everything, but WB is really rough about taking it all down. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to put up videos that are just going to get taken down.
Yeah.
I don't want to and it's so preliminary. Like they did a trailer just like announcing the game, and they haven't said anything about it. So I'm almost wondering if like around, I know E3 is not happening, but maybe around E3 time, maybe they were planning on doing like, here's the starting roster, and then we're going to add characters as DLC from there. And I'm happy to speculate about that, but I don't know how much I want to dip my foot into the data mine
That's
leak.
tough because there's a whole culture around speculating for Smash, and to not even let people speculate is like for another game is like kind of killing the hype for it too.
Right. Well, part of it I think is that like they basically just, as of right now, officially all they've done is like announce the game and then done these little beta tests. One of the characters they revealed in a tweet that I don't even think had a picture of the character, because it got data mined to the point where they couldn't like deny it. So if they want to do reveal trailers for characters, if they want to do whatever they're planning to reveal all this stuff, I'd rather let them get going with that. If there's another like the game's been announced basically, but if there's a second like, okay, not only is the game announced, here's the starting roster, here's whatever. I'd rather them get to that point and then maybe I'll jump into it. I just didn't really want to jump into it when it's so, they don't seem to even want
dangerous to talk about,
and just like, I don't know, it just feels weird, especially if I start talking about like, oh, these characters have leaked and this is leaked, and then it's just like, imagine if Smash Ultimate, when they had only shown Inkling before we got to Smash Ultimate, the like reveal of everyone is here, there was like, a leak for Young Link. It's like, it's almost here to talk about it after the hype train, like from Ridley being announced till Ultimate got released was like, that's when you talk about it. This is sort of like before, this is between Inkling and that, and it feels weird. It feels almost like, okay.
So it's like talking about Incineroar, who was like the last character, when Inkling was just shown looking at the Smash logo.
Right. It's sort of like, okay, I don't want to pull the right, like it feels wrong to some extent. It feels a little like, I don't want to take everything away from these guys, and they clearly don't want it because they're taking it down from the internet. So I'd rather them at least get to a point where the game
more like muddy versus. It's so dirty.
Yeah, it's a dirty game. So I don't know. I've had some weird mixed feelings about it, and also I like talking about rumors. I like talking about leaks and stuff like that, but I really don't. I got really deep in with Smash Ultimate rumors and stuff because I just started talking about it. I want to know what the roster was. Went to DLC. It just kept going. And it snowballed. And while I like talking about leaks, I like talking about rumors, I don't really want to be like on the ground floor of like, oh, where's this leak coming from? Oh, it's PapaGenos. He's the first guy that talked about it. He's the one that like put a spotlight on it.
Smash.
I liked it for Smash because I was very excited about Smash, and I started kind of just talking about, I like the idea of who we might get. And Sakurai sort of, Smash has always been like that. It has a history of that. When Sakurai did reveal this, it was like, more characters are coming. Who's the roster going to be? So it was a little bit like we were throwing a bone, like try to guess it, like try to figure it out, everybody online, True. Have fun with it. Whereas Multiverses doesn't feel like that. And even after that happened, then it became to the point where, okay, people kind of, I'm not gonna say people took it too far because I'm right in the front of Smash leaks and stuff like that and talking about them, but I just don't like I don't know, going out of my way to throw my hat so deep into another game in that way. I'd rather do, I don't mind talking about that sort of stuff, but I'd rather do it, like I said, Multiverses. Let's say they announce the base roster, and then it seems like it's going to be a continually updated game. That seems to be the model that they're going for. It's like a free to play with.
Yeah, it's like a free to play version of Smash.
Right. So I'd rather them, get to the point where everything's out, and then it's who's next, and then talk about it there. That feels cleaner. That feels more fair about it. I don't know.
I guess we also don't know the limitations of who we can see. Because I've heard like a wild array of characters from like this and that, and I'm like, oh, we can really have anyone that WB owns.
Multiverses is much tougher to talk about too, because Smash is Nintendo and then a little bit of other gaming stuff. Yeah. Multiverses is anything that apparently WB has ownership of or possibly has some connection to. Like we don't even know. Like, so to say there's a third party character in Multiverses like that, I don't even know what that looks like. Like, maybe, but like, has WB ever worked with like Star Wars? I don't know. Like, they might have.
At this point, it's Disney, right?
Yeah, Disney owns Star Wars, but but there's just so much weird copyright stuff when you get outside of the world of gaming. Like, I know, like right now, you can go to Universal Studios in Florida anyway, because I've been to it, and there's a Marvel section in the Universal Park. Disney owns Marvel, but Marvel was a comic company that gave the rights to Universal to make a theme park, and those rights I don't think expired, and Disney owns Marvel now, and it's like
so the Marvel stuff in Disney is actually Islands of Adventure, I think, and maybe Universal. I don't know about Universal, but Islands of Adventure, and I think Islands of Adventure is owned by Universal.
right.
I don't know if Disney owns that, so
Universal owns Islands of Adventures and has a Marvel park, but I think it's like only comics. Like I don't think they can do Marvel Comic Universe stuff, but then like Disney, I think can have Marvel Comic Universe stuff. I don't know if they can do comic stuff. Like it's really weird. And I think the ownership for Universal expires eventually.
I wonder if they can collaborate.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm just using that as a broad example of how weird copyright stuff gets, can get outside of what we usually talk about with Smash. So what Warner Brothers has any association or ownership of, like I think Warner Brothers might have some connection to the Hulk. I don't know if the first Hulk movie had some connection to Warner Brothers or something.
Is Universal and Sony like the same at all or no?
You got me. Like I know the gaming copyright stuff somewhat well because I've been following Smash speculation since Brawl and just kept up with it. But that's why Multiverse is tough for me to even cover on that grounds too, because I'm not an expert in it, and I don't know if anybody is besides if you work for Warner Brothers in their copyright department. So it's a lot harder. There are definitely things that are clearly Warner Brothers. I think things like I think Ready Player One and Space Jam 2 are both Warner Brothers, so they're a good place to look for like what Warner Brothers thinks of when they think of a crossover universe.
So can we see Michael Jordan in Multiverses?
We could, or LeBron. I think LeBron is one of the things that is like being talked about as possibly in the game. But
crazy,
yeah. So I don't know. Who knows where it's going to go? So
he'll be the Sora of that game.
Yeah, but then you have the whole. I mean, I guess I could, talk about this sort of thing when I talk about multiverses. But let's say someone like LeBron or Michael Jordan does get in the game. Okay, cool. Now let's say something happens with them in real life that's extremely controversial. Oops. I mean, that happened with Nintendo with Mike Tyson being in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and then they took that out. But they learned that lesson back in the 80s, so it's like...
well, I guess the distinction is that it's the LeBron James from the movie and not the LeBron James from real life. Although the LeBron James from the movie is based on the LeBron James from real life.
So that would probably be the... I mean, if anything happened or whatever,
it's the Space Jam version of LeBron James, not the LeBron James version of the LeBron James.
Right. And I know stuff like Smash obviously isn't the only crossover gaming thing. So stuff like Fortnite has pulled in lots of... I think they have some real life people, and I think they also have... movie characters that are clearly, their likeness is clearly some actor, something like that. So maybe Multiverses is fine with throwing their hat in the ring of potential controversy where Nintendo wouldn't be for that sort of thing. Not that Smash, I think, had a bunch of real life people that almost made it in or something. But actually, I think they do have who's the guy from Brain Age? Dr. K something. His name's escaping me, but he's like an assist trophy. So
was all the characters in Space Jam and all the cameos, were they owned by WB?
I believe so. Yeah.
So WB owns Rick and Morty.
Yeah. They have. I don't see. I'm no expert on this stuff, but I know Multiverses has like Finn and Jake. Finn and Jake are in Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah.
Rick and Morty would be Adult Swim, also Cartoon Network, which I might be umbrellaed under WB or at least associated enough that they can get them. So,
was it? It's all under Warner Bros. Is owned by or is a subsidiary? I don't know what it is, but of Time Warner, right?
Possibly, yeah. So it might be everything under the Time Warner.
Can you get the news? Do they have their own news? Can you get newscasters in the game?
Get newscasters. Yeah, I mean the game it is so open for bizarreness, which has its pros and cons.
The weather for today is lightning.
They're like Storm from like the X-Men, but they're a newscaster.
Just predicting chaotic weather.
Yeah, I mean the game has some potential to be really wacky and really out there, but
so when they win, they're just like, and now back to you.
So for all those reasons and more is kind of the reason why I'm waiting for it to kind of get its own ball rolling before I want to speculate too much on it.
Yeah. We don't know if it's a snowball or a poop ball.
True. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Or a poopy snowball.
Or yellow snowball. That's the typical tainted snowball.
Tainted Snowball.
There's the episode title.
There's the
Tainted
episode
Snowball.
title.
There you go. We
I was
got
like
it.
mulling over it, and I was like, oh, I liked OBS. And
OBS might be good. Yeah, that might be good.
I liked what was it, Muddy Versus, even though
Muddy,
it
yeah.
wasn't that funny, but I think we got our winner.
All right. Cool.
We'll leave it at that. I mean, we were supposed to leave it at that like a little while ago, but we just started talking about multiverses.
It's all good. It happens.
Now watch as I get taken down because we spoke about multiverses.
I doubt it. I'm just afraid to put up a video that's like multiverses data mine speculation, and it's just like
upload a video that says not multiverses related.
So one idea I had was to just literally make a whole video where I'm talking about it and be like, so these characters didn't leak, this didn't get data, just say everything in the negative.
This is not a data mine. What you're looking at is not a data mine.
Yeah. Honestly, the tougher thing than just talking about twofold. One thing was that I just didn't even, I want to almost, again, let the game kind of come out a little bit more, like before I talk, not necessarily that it has to release, but like be a little bit more than just announce that it's coming out, give us a little bit more. And then the other thing was my train of thought here. I totally lost it. What was I going to say? I don't know. What were we just talking about?
Train of thought blew up in the station.
It did, yeah.
That's what somebody told me once in high school.
Yeah, it crashed. It crashed into Thomas. Has crashed. He's off the track.
Thomas has crashed.
Maybe Thomas could get into multiverses. I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I wanted to let them get the game out more first. I didn't want to kind of throw my hat back into just really dirty leak stuff right off the bat with this game.
Dirty.
And I guess that it's just tough. It's tough to speculate about because it's so much. There's so much that could possibly happen with it. So I think we almost need to see the parameters first anyway before we can do too much. Oh, and that if I did a video where I just said like it's not this or it's not data mined and stuff like that, it would just come off a little weird. I don't know what I was gonna say. Something else. I don't know.
This is not PapaGenos, and I'm not talking about multiverses.
We went an extra like what was it, 20 minutes here that I hadn't yet, so my mind it's gone. If I remember what I was gonna say, I will leave a comment in the section below and say what I was gonna say in the comment. Okay. There you go.
All right, cool. Well, even though I asked where to find you will also be in the description.
Cool.
So, in fact, I think it's there already.
Awesome.
And you can find me in the description below, but I'm assuming you already know where I am because you're watching this video and it's my channel, unless you want to know where else I am. And check out my comic, which I have links in the description below. Please check it out. All right, everyone. That's it for this week, and hopefully we'll be back next week. Hopefully on a Monday. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Well, I gotta switch.